Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera Dent, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of my Dental A Team family. I seriously love doing this podcast. I thought I was going to hate it, and I love it. I love it so much because I get to connect with you. I get to hear how this podcast is helping you and your practice be better. So if you have loved this podcast and you are willing to share, I would greatly appreciate if you'll share with your friends, if you'll leave us a review, if you'll give us 5 stars, anything you can do. Just like you guys grow your practices, we're trying to grow this podcast to positively impact the world of dental. This is how we get to grow our Dental A Team family. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental A Team podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
2 perspectives, 1 mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is your host, Kiera Dent. Yeah, did you like that spice up? I said host. I was thinking about this last night of how I should do my intros. So today I'm a host. We'll see if next time I say that. But welcome to another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. All right, let's get into it today. Let's talk about emergency patients. I love this topic because it's the divide, the front office side versus the back office side. I love it. Okay, so let's dive into it. First of all, what's the problem? The problem with emergency exams are they come in, front office, we get those phone calls. Oh, what do we do? Where do we put them? We're going to look at the schedule like a jigsaw puzzle, and we're going to place them where we think it's going to work. We're hoping that they need work. It's going to help fill our production. We're doing our best to accommodate the patient on the other end, make a great patient experience, have a great employee experience. That's what we're going to do with emergency exams. Then let's go to the back office side. As the dental assistant, we are watching our schedule. We're trying to stay on pace. We have our day mapped out. In comes this emergency exam into our day that we didn't even know about because lo and behold, there's an x-ray up on the screen and then an emergency patient's put in. I know. I should be checking the schedule. That's my job as a dental assistant. This is true. But the bottom line is, oh my gosh, I didn't check it. And now there's an emergency patient that I didn't know about. I wasn't prepared for. Now I'm very reactive instead of proactive. My day is starting to go into a domino effect. Doctor's freaking out. We're trying to get the emergency patient in. We're trying to stay on schedule. Am I talking to you? Am I speaking your world? I hope I'm getting like, amen. Yes, that's my life. And then it's even better when we pull this emergency patient back. Wait for it. I'm just going to giggle. We all have to giggle about this. It's not really an emergency patient and they just having a bite adjust and they could have waited until tomorrow, but instead they got thrown into the middle of pure chaos, made our lives crazy, only to find out had we asked a few more questions in the front office, it would have saved all of us time, stress, and headache. Am I speaking to the choir here? Great. I'm so glad. Thanks for saying yes. Let's solve this. So, front office team, if you have not been a dental assistant or if you have, just know your job is so important in this. The reason why is you get to field these calls. Find out if it's a true emergency. If it is, fantastic. They're going to come where you want them to come. So back that up a little further. In the morning huddle, schedulers and front office team, please stick a sticky note, make a morning huddle sheet for yourself, whatever you need to do. Please be proactive and ask the back office team, hey guys, I need an AM and a PM emergency time that you would prefer. Where would you like it to be today? Let the back office team know. Let them decide. They'll be able to look at the schedule and tell you, hey, we're not going to take as long with Mrs. Jones at 10, so we'll take a 10 o'clock appointment there. And we'll also do a 2 o'clock. Okay, they always have to give you a morning and an afternoon. That way, if 2 emergencies come in, we can slip them in there. Schedulers, you then don't have to worry about, where do I put them? If it's a true emergency, they'll go in one of those 2 time slots. When in doubt, ask the back office, hey, I want to stick Mrs. Jones in. These are her symptoms. Are you guys okay if I put her in at 11? Ask the back office team when in doubt if it goes outside of the 2 times that they gave you, because then they're going to be prepared for it and it's going to help create a little more harmony in a dental practice. So ask in the morning huddle. Then if it's a true emergency, they'll go in one of those 2 spots because they really do want to get in. Okay, so after that, the next piece is, as schedulers, do your homework. It's okay to ask questions. So my favorite questions are, all right, let's talk about this a little bit more. I want to make sure we're totally prepared for you when you get in here. Make sure the back office team is set up for you. When did the pain start? The big things we really want to know if it's an emergency. Are they taking pain meds? How long have they been in pain? What part of the mouth is it? And not just left or right. We want to know upper right, lower right. If we can figure out which tooth number it is, that's awesome. Is it sensitive to hot and cold? Is it sensitive to chewing? Now, front office, I know this feels weird to you to ask these questions, but the more information, without being on the phone for 45 minutes, the better it will be for your back office team. Literally, if I know they've been taking Advil for 5 days, they have hot and cold sensitivity, it's on the lower right molar, I know I can set up probably for a root canal. That's probably going to be a root canal. Where it's hot and cold sensitive, maybe, maybe not. If they have swelling, but they've been taking Advil for that long, those are all things I can be prepared, ready to go for a root canal. Have that set up so we're not wasting those precious minutes. That's going to help a lot. Those emergencies are the ones, give those really good notes. So in the appointment note, front office team, like make a little, if you have to make a sheet of those questions I just listed off, so you fill that in, just like a new patient form, have an emergency form. Like pull that out, write that down so you don't miss those questions, because that little bit of information is going to save the back office tons of time to be prepared for. That doesn't mean we all have all the root canal set up and ready to go. I just have it in the room on a tray covered up. So if it is that, doctor can get them numb. We're ready to go. I'm snapping an x-ray real quick. I know exactly what we're going towards. So front office, help your team out. Help them out a ton. Get that information. By you taking those extra 2, 3, 4 minutes to find out, A, is better patient care, and B, it's going to give harmony between the front and the back office. Now, back office team, be proactive. Look at that schedule. I know this sounds like such a trite thing, and it's such a pain, but also in the morning huddle, if you're proactive and you tell your emergency times for the day, you then, without even having to look at the schedule, know that there might be an emergency at 10 or at 2 or whatever times you gave. So that way you can be more proactive. You're not going to be as frustrated if you were the one who said, we can take it at 10 o'clock or we can take it at 2 o'clock. That way you can be there as well. Front office team, another tip that you can do, tell the patient, hey, we're going to do our best to work you in, but we are working you into our schedule. So just be prepared to wait, plan to wait. We want to, and if we can get you in sooner, awesome. But that way you're prepared and planning to wait, as opposed to being expected to be seen right at 10 o'clock. That's going to then help. If you are word ninjas like this, you set the expectations, you make it crystal clear for your back office team of what they're going to be doing. The patient's then prepared. They're not stressed out, and the back office team can be less stressed as well. All the way around, we have all this beautiful synergy going on. We can then get ready to do same day treatment. Front office team, if you know it's probably going to be a root canal or a crown, do your homework before there. Have those financials ready to go. Get that insurance information ready to go. So that way we're not waiting on you to go back there, present the treatment plan before we can even get started. These little snippets of time, like the front office not taking good notes to let us know exactly what's going on, not being prepared with insurance information so that treatment plan is literally ready to go. Back office team not letting the front office team know, hey, treatment plan needed, we're ready to go, we're going to start on this root canal, whatever it is. Those little snippets of time, when we're not all on our A game at that point, we then create the domino effect. That's when we get stressed out. That's when problems happen. That's when we turn into very reactive instead of proactive. So emergency exams, I love them. That patient is ready to rock and roll. They are going to do treatment if they're in a true emergency. But there are lots of these little tips that you guys can put into place to make those emergency exams really, really, really beneficial for you, as opposed to having it be the stress, the bane, and the chaos that we add to the day. So take note, take it back, implement it. Front office team, seriously, do your job. Help your back office team. Back office team, be ready to rock and roll. Plan to do same day treatment. If you plan to always be doing same day treatment, you're not going to be frustrated when we do same day treatment. So just plan for it. It's like when I used to be an assistant and I was told that we wouldn't have to work Fridays. So I had that plan. My expectation was I worked Monday through Thursday with the little asterisk, unless there was a patient that needed to be seen on Friday. guess who was super angry every single week when a patient was put in on Thursday? Because I thought my expectation was I don't work Fridays. A better way that they could have said this, they hook, line, sinkered me on that one. But a better way that they could have been said is, hey, Kiera, we're going to have you working Monday through Friday. Fridays will always be a half day. So just plan on that. Then if we didn't schedule patients, I got Friday off. I would have been so much happier with that plan because I'm planning to work Fridays as opposed to I think I worked there for, like a year, 2 years. And I really, truly believed with all my heart that I had Fridays off, but I worked every single Friday because there was always a patient put in there. And I was always angry on Fridays because I always had patients. So that's the same thing. Assistants, plan for those emergencies. Just plan that there will be a patient in there. And that way you're prepared and you're ready to rock and roll, do the treatment. Then there's not this back and forth, front to back. Also, back office team. If the front office puts notes in there, but you would like something else in there, obviously in a very loving, kind, professional way, go let the front office team know, like, hey, Sarah, thank you so much for this information. This was amazing. It would be really helpful if you can find out if they have sensitive to chewing, just so I can be better prepared with a tooth sleuth. That would be a great question if you wouldn't mind asking that. Beautiful. Front office team, they pull out their emergency exam form, update that. They can then help the back office team. I'm not kidding when I say have an emergency exam like questionnaire. Fill out those questions. It's going to save your time because you're not having to remember all these questions to ask, but it's also going to make sure you check off the boxes of every single thing that your assistants want to know. It's going to make your life easier. Just like new patients, we're not forgetting things. Emergency exams, we're not forgetting things. Across the board, improved communication, better patient care, all around harmonious, front to back, no longer a divide, but working very simultaneously together to deliver what we're all wanting to do, which is the best patient care. All right, guys, that's emergency exams for you. Thank you so much for joining me on the Dental A Team podcast, and I'll catch you next time. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.